Hello, welcome back to What's on Your Mind, the podcast where two friends ask each other deep questions and insult one another. How you doing, Oscar? You fake Jew.
Not bad at what.
That's a reference to last episode that never got aired. That really bugged me because it was such a good episode. It was such a good episode, man.
It was a
It
quality
was such a
episode.
quality episode. Like the conversation just flowed. It was absolutely amazing, and like we did like a whole segment of us just like staring at pictures of fucking Jewish foods while I
Do you
was
remember any of them?
um no, not the names. I remember the looks of them and how much I wanted to eat them, but I don't remember the names. I remember
You fake Jew.
I remember a couple of them.
Okay, like what?
Um like
See your Jewish knowledge.
matzo ball soup.
Yes, good.
Um what else was there? I can't remember now. No, I can't remember. I am a fake Jew. Um
You.
But yeah, it was such a good episode, man. Like we've recorded, like so a bit of context because we did tweet out, but I don't think there was a lot of context behind it. We did record the episode fully. Like we had a good
Yeah,
conversation. Um, and then
for whatever
yeah,
reason, Bradley was like really low in audio
yeah. Um,
and muffled.
I think that's probably down to like the whole the quick setup that we did for you for OBS. Probably.
Probably. You know what we should have done? We should have like tested it first.
Yeah, that's that's what we did when we first started this, right? We did like a test. Run.
Next time I record, we'll just do a quick test beforehand, make sure it all fucking works.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, the only reason you started recording is because my PC was having issues, which it fixed itself. It was weird because
There you go.
my hold on, let me just take the microphone out of this headset. So my PC. So for a while, one stick of RAM wasn't working in my PC. I wasn't getting my full RAM. And I thought to myself, okay, one of them's faulty, that's fine, whatever. I'll get some new ones eventually, just not right now.
Right.
And then I restarted my PC, and then it went all weird. I reset the boot up defaults or whatever they were, which shouldn't have messed with any of my stuff. And so it came with a weird loan screen, and then I contacted my brother-in-law, asked him about it. It was a hard drive issue. My hard drive wasn't being picked up. It wasn't loading. It wasn't working. I got the PC to work and load up and blah blah, but my hard drive wasn't working, which would have meant I lost everything basically because everything is on my hard drive. The things on my SSD
Yeah.
are stuff that I want loaded that loads quicker, not like pictures
Yeah.
and videos. But everything else is on my hard drive. I would have lost all of it.
That's a bit mad.
Which reminded me I should have backed up. I used to back up frequently, but I got lazy. So I would have lost all my recent editing, all my recent thumbnails, all my recent basically my entire portfolio of graphics and video editing.
You have external hard drive?
No, I'm gonna get all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna have a bunch of backup devices. I'm going to buy in the new year. This is gonna be in the new year. I'm gonna buy the Microsoft Office 365 where you get 1 terabyte of cloud storage that you can back up onto, as well as obviously all the Office programs which come in useful. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. But then we got it. I don't know. I can't remember what we did. We ended up booting out one time. It worked completely. Got my hard drive back. Everything started working, and one of my RAM started working again. So it must have just had a mental breakdown, and then took its antidepressant pills, I suppose.
What an anxiety attack.
Yeah, literally, it's like me. Like I had a breakdown after my breakup, started taking medication, and I'm all the better for it. Sometimes you have to break things to fix them. A bit like a fractured leg, right? You got to break it to fix it. So, but yeah. So the PC
It's a good analogy.
PC's working. And because they're obviously my round's working, it's a bit faster. So
Hanukkah's coming up.
it is. It is indeed.
Well, I say it's coming up. When the fuck is it? Jeez, talk
It's
about
the
bad Jew.
18th of December, right? Or is it the 8th? And that's the 18th.
Yes, no, 18th. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Jeez, that's bad. You know it, and I
To
don't.
be fair, we did Google it last week.
Yeah, but like, I don't keep up with that shit.
So, for those of you who don't know, Oscar, well, he's supposed to be Jewish.
I am
He's not.
Jewish.
He's
I am
the
Jewish.
fakest Jew I've ever met in my life.
I'm Jewish. I'm just not. Up to date with everything. Do you expect me to be?
Yes.
Oh well, go fuck
You're
yourself.
Jewish. You're supposed to be.
Says who? Are you my god? Not that I believe in God, but
So then the entire point of being Jewish is pointless to you.
I'm not. I mean, I'm Jewish. That's it. I don't know. I'm Jewish.
You're not Jewish.
I
No,
am
you're not.
Jewish. That's my religion. That's my religion.
Yeah, whatever you say, but yeah, all right. This is coming from a guy, by the way. He said that if he moved away and by himself or whatever, and his family like didn't celebrate it with him, he would not celebrate it by himself.
Yes,
He wouldn't
that
give
is
a
true.
shit,
Yes.
and he doesn't even
I probably forget.
believe in God. So,
I probably forget, to be honest.
like I said,
The
fake
festivals.
Jew. And anyway, so how have you been, Oscar?
Well, apart from being called a fake Jew,
Deserve.
I'm okay. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I'm not too. I went out for a meal tonight with some work colleagues.
Yeah.
Um, went out for some Korean food.
Ooh.
So, it was really nice, but I'm so full and I feel ill. So it's
What did you have to eat?
it's all. I'm not gonna say the name because I'll just fucking butcher the name. But it was like chicken and rice. It was really nice though. It was really spicy. I know chicken and rice sounds really really vague, but
Sounds like every Asian dish ever. What do you think?
although really weird actually. So I went to. I was on the train and the train stopped at Kentish Town Station, which is a few stops before my stop. And they told us to like evacuate the station immediately. It's an emergency. And then I later look up and apparently now I don't think it was coming from my train, but apparently there was like smoke bellowing from one of the carriages in the station.
Smoke.
Yeah. I don't know if like a train was about to like explode or what, but we all had to evacuate like ASAP.
That's weird.
I mean, I'm trying to see if there's anything now about it. Um, okay. 1 hour ago, firefighters. Yep, there were firefighters. They were called to Kentish Town Underground Station for train incident. What did it actually say? Um, yeah, reports of smoke bellowing um, from under a train carriage and the track.
Yeah, bro.
Firefighters are inspecting the carriages and engine panels and the track with thermal imaging cameras. The LFB have been approached for comment.
Fuck, dude. That's crazy.
That's a bit mad and very concerning.
That is quite concerning. I'm not gonna lie.
Thankfully, we all got the fuck out of there.
I remember that reminds me of this one time I was at my sister's, and I needed to get the train back home. But there was a bomb threat. Well, there was a suspicious package on the tracks.
Uh-oh.
But it turned out I don't think it turned out to be anything. But
It's always scary when you see things like that, though.
yeah, it is. It definitely is. Because you don't know what it is, right?
Yeah, it could be anything.
Literally.
Well, I've got a question for you. Would you, I just have asked you this. Would you consider yourself an atheist?
You have asked me this.
Have I?
I think so. You either asked me this or you asked me something similar. Um,
Sorry, dude. I've got bad memory when it comes
so
to this
it's
stuff.
okay. I'm more than happy to talk about myself. Um, um,
Arrogant dick.
um,
Prick.
I suppose yeah, I am an atheist. I've always shown interest in religion, like not practicing it myself, but like knowledge of religion. Like I've always asked you questions. I don't know why I ask you questions out of anybody, about Judaism. Y- I love the idea of religion. I've always loved the idea of what it must be like to have that kind of faith in something other than science or
I believe,
physical.
do you believe, like, Moses splitting the Red Sea actually happened?
Honestly, I don't think I can because for me it's like why does all this stuff happen back when humans weren't as evolved, when they actually believed in things like magic and witches and blah blah, right? Um,
Yeah.
why is it that stuff, these stories happen then, not now? Because say back then, someone went on a crusade, killed a bunch of people in the name of God, or say told you God to do it. If someone did that now, you're gonna get locked up and probably get diagnosed
Yeah.
with some sort of mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like, did that stuff? I believe Jesus was a real person. Obviously,
Yeah.
I don't believe that he was the son of God. I feel like um something going on with Mary. Um, but like things like like you said, Moses splitting the Red Sea. Was it the Red Sea? Um,
Yeah.
how does that shit not happen nowadays? Like, like I said, why did it only happen back then and not now? When the world would need a god more than ever.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
We were born too late.
maybe. I mean, sorry, just taking a sip of my drink. I like to look it back at like how they explain why the ancient Greeks came up with their gods. Was they always
Mm-hmm.
wanted a reason for something to exist? Like
Right.
why do the seasons exist? Why do we get snow at this time of the year and not this time of the year? Why do spiders exist? Why do rivers exist? Who made fish? Who should we be thankful for? Because back then they just didn't have the intelligence or capabilities to prove science. And I feel like in the right, say if World War III doesn't happen, nuclear war doesn't happen, and we continue to evolve as a species, as a race, right? Um, we we would look back on our current selves, like saying like 3,000 years in the future. We would look back on our current selves and think, "Wow, these guys were so barbaric, violence, disgusting, the bloodshed, history made through bloodshed." Right?
Yeah.
That would be barbaric. That they would look at like an iPhone XR, right? What I've got right now, it's an amazing piece of technology, but they would
Mm-hmm.
look at it as like, oh, this is so ancient. This is, but for us, that's like a stone tool. You know what I mean?
We're looking at it compared to like for them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like, so they would look back at us, and I feel like in thousands of years in the future, religion probably wouldn't exist. As Ricky Gervais put it, if you destroyed all the religious books in the world, it would never come back the same. If you destroyed every science book in the world, it would come back exactly the same with the same experiments.
Right.
And I feel like that's true. I mean, if there is a God, I would happily be proven wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong. I love being proven wrong. Um,
I need evidence that there's like some
yeah,
sort of
that's
God.
the same for me.
I
I
need
need
like
that hardcore evidence, not faith. I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
a
Because
beautiful thing to have that faith in something, which is why it interests me so much. But I just can't understand it.
but for me, it's just like I'm talking to air. Like I'm talking to myself. Or I'm talking to the air.
Yeah, so I suppose when you grow up believing in God, right? You can feel the presence of God because you believe that He's existing.
I've never felt that.
Whereas I feel like if you don't truly believe growing up, you're not gonna feel that presence. So you're not gonna feel like you're talking to anybody that's actually there.
Yeah, I've not felt that. No.
I don't know. Maybe I've lost my way. I'm a lost little lamb and need to find my way back to the flock. But at the end of the day, there's no evidence for me. Um, I bel
How well do you know the Moses story, by the way?
I I could be wrong. I will say what I think or I remember it being. But I could be completely wrong. Um,
'Cause
it
I
was
mean,
about Jewish
like,
slaves. He tried to get the Jewish slaves
yeah,
um out of Egypt, I think it was, or whatever it was.
yeah,
And or apparently it was they were Jewish slaves, but the pharaohs let them go. Then the pharaohs just changed their mind, but Moses needed to get past the Red Sea, so God gave him the powers to part it.
yeah. So the reason why Pharaoh let them go is because of the 10 plagues,
Yeah,
and the final plague was the death of the firstborn. So that being Pharaoh's son. So once Pharaoh's son died, Pharaoh was like, "All right, you can go,"
yeah. See,
which is fucking dark. But hey,
I find religion was quite dark, like because there's the First Testament, right, which is where God is more wrathful and quite vindictive, whereas like
yeah,
the modern day um representation of God is like about love and forgiveness. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
back in the day, it'd be like if you didn't believe in God, God wants you dead and you're in hell. Whereas now it's like, oh, God will forgive you, but you will always have a place for God in your heart. Like God will always have a place in His heart for you. When you're dying, and or you go to a church and go, I want forgiveness. I want faith. I want to be on the righteous path of God. They'll accept it.
See, these were I never had these conversations like with my dad growing up. Maybe I was too. I don't know. I think now I probably would do if he were alive. I'd probably ask him these questions.
They, if I ever had kids and they said, "Oh, I want to be, Catholic. I want to be a Christian. I want to be Jewish. I want to be Muslim." I'd ask them why. Um, and then I would just say to them, "Then, if you feel like that's the path you need to go on in life, then you do that. As long as you're not hurting other people or making
No,
horrible
exactly.
choices and horrible mistakes." You do whatever you
Don't
need.
force it down
Yeah,
other
like,
people's throat.
or like spreading hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I will never accept my child. I would never allow my child to be, something like homophobic or transphobic or racist. So it's like, if they ever joined a group where they were doing that kind of thing, then I'd be like, no, that's not who you should be. That's not what a good person is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There are a lot of
yeah.
religious people out there that do accept gay people because God loves them no matter what. Or it's either that, or it's the whole. I've got religious
There,
friends that
there
believe in a God that loves everyone equally. That love is love. They don't believe in a God um that would condemn someone just for loving someone else.
there are very Orthodox Jews who are against being gay. 'Cause they don't see it as they see it as like a sin.
I mean, that's part of their religious teachings. Um,
Yeah. Which I don't believe, but that's my view, that's their view. Yeah, it is what it is.
it's like
Just in general, there's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with being gay.
I don't understand why it's a sin. Maybe like I need to be taught. Like I can be taught it. It doesn't mean I'm going to believe
Oh,
that. It's
put,
just I need to be taught why it's
put,
considered a sin. Do you know what I mean?
put religion aside, like in general, there are people out there who have a problem with it, and it puzzles me.
Uh,
Like, it's two people who love each other. Why does that
I
matter?
suppose that comes down to environment, though, right? That's like an environmental factor. Like, hold on, I'm just adjusting my phone. So, in my opinion, I believe racism breeds racism.
Right.
Homophobia breeds homophobia. Um, you know, as a kid, you're very impressionable. If you're growing up and your dad's saying some like racist terms, like like to be honest, growing up, there were things that you say that I said that I'd never say now because growing up, I realized you shouldn't be saying that, but because it was
Yeah.
so normalized
Yeah.
by people around me growing up. My family was not racist. I'm just gonna put that out there. I just meant like, people around me in general. Um, like, like the corner shop. I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna use it as an example. Okay, they'd call it a
Oh,
packy shop,
oh
right?
God.
And it's like, and you grow up going, oh, I'm gonna go to the packy shop, and then you grow up and then you realize, what the fuck is that? That's so bad. I shouldn't be saying that. So then it's
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
grew out of that very early on. Um, but it's like there are people that call Chinese like getting a chinky or whatever, and it's like you shouldn't say that. Like my family have never said that. They've always called it Chinese. I've never understood where that came, like the let's get a chink thing came from. Like, I'm sorry if any of these phrases are offending you. I'm just using them as examples, by the way. To you
Yeah.
and to anyone
Yeah.
listening.
We're not.
I've never grown up with hearing that. But you don't realize how words can be used until you grow up. Like, my dad's a fucking scumbag. My dad's definitely a bit of a racist. I know that for a fact. And I'll happily say that my dad's not a good person in general. Um,
Right.
he was definitely against like um, like Muslims. He was definitely against Muslims.
Right.
Um, definitely said the M word a couple times. I've heard him say that.
Can't be saying things like that now.
Bro, if he said that sort of shit in my presence, I'd punch him. I mean, to be honest, I'd punch the guy if I ever saw him
Yeah.
again anyway. But, um, but he would say those things. And growing up, you sit there thinking. Growing up, I didn't grow up racist and then change my mind. I knew what racism was, and I knew it was bad. But I grew up saying, like said like packy shop, and then you realize, oh shit, that is racist. I shouldn't be saying that. But yeah, it's like I said, it's because it's your environment that you're in. Like if you're in an environment where you're very accepting of gay people and very accepting of like everyone, you're very inclusive. You're gonna have kids that grow up to be accepting as well. That's why they tell you, racism needs to stop at you. That's why instead of
Yeah.
That's why instead of like, say if somebody, I'm trying to find an example. So there's this story about this woman, right? Her dad was really racist guy. He's southern United States, so how bad it can get down there. Proper redneck racist. And she married a black guy, had a daughter. And originally her father said, "I'm gonna have nothing to do with your half N-word daughter."
Oh,
And
brilliant.
then a few years down the line, he's got the greatest bond with his grandchild because he learned that racism is basically the most stupid thing ever. Like, you should never think of someone differently because of the color of their skin.
I would not forgive that comment though. Doesn't matter if you learnt it or not. I would not forgive that
No,
comment.
you should never. You can forgive, but you should never forget that comment, because if you don't forgive someone for making those comments and then learning from their mistakes and then growing as a person, then you're basically teaching people that they can't change and they may as well stay the way they are. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I don't get some cancel culture if, like, someone makes a racist comment in their past, but they've owned up to it, or they've, they're completely different. They've seen the wrong in it. And instead of going, okay, like, this is something that you can learn from, instead of educating people cancel them straight away. Do you know what I mean? People just attack them for it instead of educating. Definitely a thing that needs to be educated. 100%. There are KKK members that have seen a different way of life and accepted black people. You know what I mean? So it's definitely about education.
I find it, me, I find it very hard to forgive.
Yeah, that's
Very
fair
hard.
enough. Like, like, it's.
Do you forgive easily?
Depends.
Like, do you forgive? Okay.
Some things don't deserve forgiveness, but some things, for me, you don't have to forgive someone to let go of a grudge. You know what I mean?
Because I was talking about. I mentioned it. It was a brief conversation tonight, but like, someone asked us like, do you guys, do you cut if someone hurts you, do you cut them out of your life? I was like, yeah, I hold a lot of like resentment to people, and they were like, that's just not healthy, mate. It's like, yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, it's holding a lot of resent towards people isn't healthy. And you do learn eventually to let it go. But at the time, it's very easy to hate someone and have a grudge against them, which is fine. It happened, but eventually you need to let go, because the only person it affects is you. Like, say all right. I'm gonna use an example. I'm gonna make up an example, right? Say you go for a breakup, right? And you're resentful to this person. They've broken your heart. They've sort of used you, right?
This happened.
Yeah. Okay. Well, They treat people like shit. But think of it this way, right? This is a random example, by the way. So if this relates to you, then I have no idea. But say you're holding this grudge, and then they meet some like a few months down the line, they meet someone new, they get into a relationship with that person, and they're moving on, they're happy, they're living their life, and you're still holding that grudge. Who's it gonna affect? You. So the best thing you can do is just you don't have to forgive them. Just let go of it. Just stop hating. Just stop thinking about the hatred. Turn hatred into something positive. Turn that kind of energy into something positive. Anger and hatred can be turned into such a powerful motivator. Like a motivator for anything. Why a lot of people go to the gym after breakups. Because it's a great motivator. And then
I think deep down, like I'm like a bitter guy. I don't know. I'm working towards getting help for it.
I find
So
that
I'm doing something
there's
about it.
something in your life that causes you to be that kind of person, and when you figure out what that is, that's when it allows you to let go of that kind of toxic trait. Like, don't get me wrong, I can hold a grudge for a long time. I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah.
I can hold a grudge for a long time, and it's. But I will eventually let it go. Because like I've sort of let it go now from like my past relationship, because like who cares? What's the point? The only person that will get hurt by this is me. Like,
yeah.
I look at my life now. It's so much better off since. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so much better off now, and it's better to look that way. That's like. Do you mind if we talk about what you told me the other day about people like being fake and blah blah? Mind if we talk about that?
No. Go for it. Go for it.
Like the other day when you said, "Oh man, I'm sick of people being fake and things." I think personally, it's because you put your expectations up. You're expecting something out of it. You kind of. That's why, like for me, I prefer
It's
the approach
not.
of
Go on.
being very casual with someone, and even like just having fun with someone, and then seeing where that goes from there. Like for me, like going on a date or talking to someone with the intention of having a potential girlfriend or partner, that for me can put a bit of a damper on things when things don't work out. So that's why, like I said to you, like, bro, you just need to play the field. You need to just have some fun. You're young. Just enjoy life a bit. Focus on yourself and make time for yourself more than someone else. And then if things evolve with someone else, like have a bit of fun with people. Get yourself out there.
I don't think I was necessarily having my expectations high. I just think
not
like
high. No. No, I didn't say high. I said that they were out there. They were there. You had your expectations up there.
I see. Yeah.
My expectation is for something to come out of this. Do you know what I mean? That was your expectation because that's something you're looking for.
Right. Understood.
Which I think isn't a good expectation because, like I said, it's the same with girls. Like I'm gonna use an example where, I had this girl where I talked to her and like she was looking for something serious, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking to get to know someone, see where things go." And she was like, "Oh, we're not looking for the same thing." I was like, "That's exactly what we're looking for. I'm looking to meet someone and see where it goes." And she was like, "No, I'm looking for something serious." And I was like, "What, you want me to fucking propose to you here and now to prove that I'm being serious, or what the fuck is that about? Like, that's just weird." That's exactly how a serious relationship works. You go on dates, you get to know someone.
Yeah, you get to know them.
Or it's like when people are like, I don't really casually date, and it's like, well, you do, because casually dating someone,
get to know someone.
You're getting to know people because you want to date them, you want to get to know them for girlfriend material, right? If you're just being if you're just being like having fun and casual, just looking for something casual, not casual dating, casual. You just now and then you go and hang out with someone, sleep with them, and then go about your way, talk to them again, text them now and then. You know what I mean? It's like, that's casual, and then there's casual dating, which is where, you're not like looking for Prince Charming for every date. Expectations should never ever be put out there. Like, I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like relationships don't really work if you're expecting a relationship from a date, because you find out that you don't vibe with that person, and then it puts you in a bad place because you feel like you can't find the right person. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, right? If for right now, I'm not actively searching for a girlfriend. But if I'm with someone, we have some fun, casually hanging out, sleeping together and stuff. And then we evolve, we start spending more time together, we start realizing we enjoy the same things, we have a lot in common, we start enjoying each other's company, we really start to like each other. For me, that's a perfect way to build a relationship.
Yeah, because you've gotten to know each other.
Whereas, if
Yeah.
you're going on dates with the expectation of, I want a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're like, this guy just doesn't, it's not the right vibe. Doesn't work out. But then that one date where they could have been nervous and not giving off who they truly are, or they're trying to like hide who they truly are. They might hide because you will not know someone until you're at least like 3 months in. They say there's a 3-month period before people show you who they actually are.
Yeah.
You could go on a date with someone, they could act really nice and they could be all like great, and then 3 months down the line they're a manipulative piece of shit. And then you wonder why.
Yep.
You wonder why you can't find someone nice. It's because you rush into shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, instead of that, just spend time getting to know different people, and then if the right person comes along, they come along. That's the thing. People. One thing that annoys me is like when people are like, in this day and age, you can't date, you can't have a relationship. I want it the way it used to be. Like, shut the fuck up, you miserable twat. Yes, it can be that way. A lot of relationships still exist, but people just meet different ways now. They just don't get married straight away. They don't fall in love for like a year and then go, I want to get married, have kids. People want to live their life.
Is that that girl in India? Is that that girl in India who said she loves me after 2 days?
No, that's just weird.
Yeah,
that's not even
weird.
like overly romantic or whatever. That's just weird. That's straight up serial killer weird.
That's
There's no such thing as loving someone. There's no such thing as love at first sight. That's definitely true. Because you can't fall in love with someone based on their looks. Because I'll tell you why. It's because if they have a shitty personality, it actually makes them quite unattractive. That's what people don't realize, is like, it could be the fittest girl ever, but if she's got the fucking personality of a wet sponge, she's not very attractive. Even for like a one night stand, I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm looking, like, I remember before talking to a girl, like, with the intention of both of us, with the intention of just casually hooking up, and she had the shittiest personality ever. Like, she was so, like, her conversation was so dead. Like, I don't want to sleep with you anymore.
I don't want
to sleep with you anymore. That's it. I'm done. So I just stopped talking to her. I ghosted her. Couldn't be asked. Like, why? If you don't, just because we want to sleep with each other, we've got to have some sort of fucking. Got to at least talk to each other. Got to get to know each other. And then there's people that are like, you're not your usual type, and that's a lot of the time. A lot of people tell you, their usual type isn't what they end up with, because they realize that, I'm talking about type of looks, not type of person, or personality.
Right.
Like, just type of looks with that type of personality is just like a bonus, isn't it? It's like, that's like your dream girl. But like,
there's such a thing.
Yeah, there's a dream girl, but I think that's, once again, that's fake expectations or something. Because humans aren't perfect.
I don't think I've ever said
For me,
that. To be
if I want a
honest.
girlfriend, for a girl to be my girlfriend, she'd have to have goals in life. She'd have
Oh
to
yeah,
want to do the same things that I want to do. I want to travel. One of the big reasons I don't want children is they hold you back and they cost a fortune. Like, my money's my money, bro. I want to
you
enjoy my
should.
money.
Yeah.
Why should I spend money on a little person when I can spend it on myself?
On a little person.
Exactly. So it's, it's like, you can't really, you can, but you can't really travel with kids. You can't.
What'd you name your kid?
Depends.
Bend over.
Well, considering my surname's not Dover, it doesn't really work.
Middle
If my
name.
surname was Dover, my surname was Dover, I would 100% name my kid Ben. 100%. I'd let that kid get bullied for that. I
What
don't
can
give a
you?
shit. That would be quality.
Well, like middle name.
No. I hate the name Ben. I don't hate
Bend
the name Ben. I
over.
would just never name my kid Ben.
Bend over. Oh, poor kid.
What would you name your kid?
I don't know. Fuck, I'm an off. uh,
Yeah,
that'd
that
be a
seems a
horrible
bit
name.
harsh. I feel like you'd hate your child if you named. That just sounds like you're just taking revenge
Yeah.
on a child for being born that he didn't ask to be.
Can you imagine the register being going off?
Huh?
Can you imagine the class register being taken and then that name gets called out? Who's here today? Brian, check. Bill, check. Fuck off.
The thing is, right, with the right person, sometimes you change your mind on, like, wanting kids. Like my ex, so I spoke to her about kids' names and things. Like, but now I look at it, it's like, I'm an idiot for that. Like, I don't want kids. I wanted, for one thing, she had a
Ever?
son. Um,
Right, okay.
I said to I said to her, I asked her before. I said, "What if you had to choose one, like us getting married or us having a kid? What would you do?" And she said, "I'd get married because I have a son. I'm happy with my. I'm happy to just have that one." I was like,
Fair
"Yeah, that's
enough.
fine. I respect that because if I'm with a woman and I get with a woman in a serious relationship and she has a child, I'm gonna love that child as if it's my own. So
Yeah.
but you can't travel with kids, really.
You can, but it's very
You
difficult.
can't. Because I want to,
And babies are allowed to like go on
yeah,
on
of course they are.
flights,
Yeah,
are they?
they are. Um,
Why do I think something different?
no, of course they are. You can take fucking animals on flight, like emotional support animals on flight. No, it's, um, yeah, but they're fucking crying little bitches. But the problem is, right, with kids, is you can't do the things that you'd like. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Like, if I'm going on, if I'm traveling, like, on an American road trip, say if I went on an American road trip with my girlfriend, I'd want to, like, go to, like, the nicest places, like the most beautiful places, and have, like, the craziest wild nights with my girlfriend. Can't do that with a kid.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? You can't do that with a kid. Or I want to, like, just one day just pick up and go. Like, oh, babe, in 2 weeks, let's just go to fucking Philippines. Let's go for Philippines for a week. You know what I mean? No, like, they can be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But if you have a kid, you can't do that. Because if your kid's old enough, they have to be in school. You can't just pull them out
Oh,
of school.
yeah.
Because apparently, you have to get permission from the school to take your kid on holiday.
Yeah. 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 That rings a
Um,
bell.
Which is, personally, in my opinion, stupid. But But that's what I mean is they hold you back realistically. I mean, families are beautiful things. Kids, they're cute and nice. It's nice having a family, but for me, like I'd happily not have children.
All right, everybody, hear that? Bradley wants children.
But not. It's definitely a societal pressure thing. You have to settle down and have a family by a certain age. I don't
Come on,
want
Bradley,
kids.
have a kid.
Don't literally.
Come on,
Oh,
please.
fuck that. I'm a kid.
Okay. I'll give you a rose.
What the fuck's that gonna do for me? What is a child gonna do for me? Are
Joy,
they?
give you joy. I don't know. Maybe not for the first night or two.
I've hung around with my niece and nephews. I
I'm
love
guessing it's
them
no
to
fun.
bits, but they're not joyous people. A crying child all night would just stress me out. Just imagine, like I said, man, they cost a fucking fortune. Children.
Who? What do you mean? Sorry, I just like this idea that you're buying this kid off the shelves at Argos.
You may as well at this fucking point. Probably cheaper.
Like, I'll buy Jimmy off,
No, it's
at
probably
Argos.
cheaper to spend your life traveling than it is to raise a child. Because how much is it? It's like on average about at least $1 million, right? That you spend on a child in 18 years within 18 years.
Well, you need to get like their cot. You need to get
Well, I suppose
everything
that's in
when they're growing
America,
up.
but like in this country, I don't know what it is, but that's what I mean. Like, you got to buy all this specialized shit for them when they're kids, when they're babies, and then they just grow out of that shit. And then you got to buy
Yeah.
them more shit. You got to buy them toys, and then they grow up that toy after like 6 months. And oh fucking hell, we'll get more toys. You got a box of toys. You're constantly cleaning. Constantly cleaning your fucking house.
Have a kid.
You know, your fucking poor partner has had to squeeze these little fuckers out, and now they're ungrateful little bastards want to suck on her tits all day and then fucking cry about it. Fuck that, man. I'm not putting my woman through that.
Oh god, that was like the best thing I've
I'm
heard
not
all
putting my
night.
woman through that.
Just squeeze them out.
Yeah, man. All that fucking labour just for them to be ungrateful little shits growing up.
They can't help it. They're
No, I'm
crying
not
little
just talking
kids.
about that. I'm talking about in general. Growing up, they're going to be ungrateful little bastards. Because you can't
Well, that depends
punish
on
your
you
kids
guys.
anymore.
Raise them properly. Raise them.
Bro, no matter how you raise your children, they're going to be spoiled one way or another. Especially kids. When they're younger kids, they're going to be very spoiled. Because they don't understand the value of stuff. Like, it's...
Just, be strict as balls.
No, because then I don't want to be strict. I don't want to be strict. I want to be a dad where my kids can make their own decisions, because I feel like that's the best way to teach them in life. But I also have to be the dad where I can't allow certain decisions to go through. But I don't want to raise someone. Barely take care of myself, and then someone else. Like, bro, I forget to cook for the motherfucker. And then the thing is, I feel like I feel like I'd be a decent dad, but I think my biggest fear, I don't want to be that useless dad where the mum does everything.
I can just imagine you taking like your kids like a football game.
Yeah, but then there's another thing where it's like I'll be working constantly, and it's like once I'm done with work and I come home, man, I'm not gonna want to fucking not gonna want to listen to screaming kids and crying baby. I'm gonna be honest, like 100% honest, like not something I can do.
Yeah,
Like when I come
fair enough.
home from work, like where I used to work was it would take me ages to get home, and it could take up to like an hour and a half to get home when it should only take 45 minutes because the bus was late and then there was traffic when I was on the bus. And then I'd end up going, or I'd have to go to the gym after work, and it was like, then I'd have to walk home, which was like a 30-minute walk. And after a gym session, bro, that's at least 40 minutes because I'm just wobbling. You know what I mean?
To be honest, like after work, like I just
That's what I
want to
mean.
chill,
Like,
man. Like
it's such
I
a
just want to
miserable
relax.
existence, though, isn't it? Coming home,
What?
yeah,
Like
working, then
working?
coming home, and then like having like 2 or 3 hours before you have to go to bed, and then wake up the next morning and do it all over again.
I'm. You know what? I'm not gonna complain about that because I get home at a
Although
pretty decent time because I
you
live
work in a
quite close.
school, so if you enjoy what you do, it won't matter.
No, but you
Yeah,
still
of
get
course.
really
Like if you
tired.
love what you
Like
do, though, they say you don't work a day in your life. That's true, 100% true. If I was editing for my job, bro, like I'd edit and then I'd look forward to doing it every day. You know what I mean? I'd love to do that every day.
I don't know. I don't know if I would do editing as a job.
I
I
definitely
really
would
don't. I
because
yeah.
the reason that I do it 100% as a job is because, for one thing, it helps me improve upon my own skills, like for my own content,
Right. Okay.
and then it you can build up a reputation for a good being a good editor. Because if you're a good editor, you know how to build a storyline. You know how to
Right.
tell a
Yeah.
story. Um, Therefore, you can be a good filmmaker. Um,
I still do that as like
but
a
the thing
hobby.
is, my dream job would be content creator anyway, which would require editing. Yeah,
OnlyFans.
maybe, but like, which would require editing. I wouldn't want anyone else to edit for me.
No, I wouldn't
That's what
hire
I
an
mean. I
editor.
like the
I
only
mean,
time I'd ever hire an editor is if I was genuinely too busy to edit videos. I had some content creators are genuinely too busy to do it, or don't have the skills but have the money to get an editor to do an amazing job, and then that video makes money for them. You know what I mean? Like, say if I
yeah.
paid you £400 to edit a video, and then that video goes up, and that gets me about $2,000. Made a fat profit.
Yes, please.
I wouldn't pay you £400.
I'll gladly take that now, please.
Bro, I'd do anything for £400 right now. in this current crisis we're living in. Oh man, fucking. What do you reckon? Prostitutes are gonna up their
Yes,
prices with this
that's at
cost of
all.
living? Shops are doing it.
I don't keep up with prostitutes.
You don't keep up with prostitutes. Oh, you just use them and ditch them. Well,
No.
you're a piece of shit. You are. You're not a loyal customer,
No.
right? No, you're not. I say that, but I've got every fucking loyalty card from every shop in my wallet, pretty much. Like Nectar cards, club cards, fucking Morrison's card. I don't even have a Morrison's in my area.
I've never met a prostitute.
You probably have. You just didn't know about it.
I think I would know.
Wouldn't.
No, I probably wouldn't.
It's hey, you could have
Probably
literally
wouldn't.
talked to a prostitute and then not even realised it was a prostitute. Just
Have you ever talked to a prostitute?
technically, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, like
have you?
you get those girls that add you on Snapchat that like, oh, send me
I don't know.
£20
I don't have
and
Snapchat.
I'll meet you. Like I remember I'll tell you this story, right? I had this conversation with one. She was trying to mug me up. I was like, right, I'm not falling for this shit, right? She was like, want to meet up? She's like, oh, I need fuel money though. I was like, right, okay. I was like, fair enough. The price of oil was going up. I was like, okay, fiver, fuel, whatever. Drive here, we'll spend the night together. She was like, oh, like £20 fuel. I was like, I'm not paying for sex. And she was like, it's not for sex, it's for the fuel. And I was like, £20 for petrol. You live 5 minutes down the road, like 5-minute drive down the road. That is not £20 worth of petrol. If it is, you need a new car. And I was like, I'll just come to you. I can walk to you. And she's like, no, I live with my sister, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, then let's meet somewhere. I was like, just walk, you lazy cunt. She's like, I'm not walking, lol. And I was like, well, then I'm not paying 20 quid for this shit. I was like, fuck off, man. She's like, oh, all right, well, you're missing out. And I was like, I'm really not. I'm really not. Well, I'm gonna smash. I'm gonna smash a fucking girl that's probably been smashed like 5 times this week. I'm being paid to do so. I'm really not missing out. Like £20, man. In this economy, fuck no.
It's a bit much.
Maybe if we were a country where we lived off fucking oil money, but no. Fucking £20 for that. Bro, like I said, 5-minute drive down the road. Apparently.
Do you see what she looked like?
She was attractive. Yeah, she was
looking?
very attractive. If it was actually,
yeah, but how do you know
she did snap me? No, she did actually snap me. Okay. But she probably snapped me and a bunch of other people at the same time. Like I said, I mean, at least it's either that she's done a very, very, very good job of pretending to be that person.
But you wasn't getting like catfish.
I don't think so. It's purely to get desperate guys to pay money for sex. And I was like, do you know what made me laugh though was, like, a week later, I slept with someone else, and I was like, I literally said to her, I was like, I have no trouble getting action. I'll give you a £5 for petrol because petrol is expensive, and I don't drive, so fair enough. But that's what you're gonna need. You do not need £20. She was like, £20. Like, you can't afford it. Blah blah blah. £5 is, that's nothing. I was like, well, it's just for petrol, right? Not for the sex. So you just told me. She's like, no, it's for the petrol. And I was like, well, then why are you being ungrateful when I've just offered you £5 towards it? It's funny how £20 is a set price. Do you know what £20 can get me, mate? That can get me much further than 5 minutes down the road with anyone, even in a cab. I even said to her, I was like, a cab's cheaper, right? I was like, just get a cab. It'd probably be like a £5.
Yeah.
Not even that in a cab. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna get a taxi. I want to drive, and I was like, well, then you fucking drive. I'm not paying for your fuel. Piss off. Like, fucking.
Hey, Brad, can I have £40?
Don't know.
Can I have £30?
Nope.
20? 10?
I have about 10p.
Okay, fuck off. Can I have 10p?
You have to give me your bank details, though.
Why? I'm not giving you shit.
It's not like I can take shit out of your accounts when you give me your transfer details. It's to pay you, not to pay me. Ick.
So why am I asking you for money?
You probably earn way more than I fucking do. Especially your little side fucking hustle. Oscar's a prostitute. That's what you like to call it, isn't it?
No, I don't. I'm not a prostitute. I do get paid to referee though.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't pay me for filming and editing.
I charge for that, man.
What, the filming and editing?
Yeah. Why the fuck are you doing that for free? Fuck.
He was paying me, and then, yeah, I don't know.
Paying you for the editing?
Yeah, when I first started, this is before I was refereeing, he was paying me like weekly for the editing. be honest, refereeing is more taxing. As in, like, it's more demanding than editing.
Yeah, but surprise, man. But
We need to get you
you
in the
reckon?
ring.
You think I'd make a good wrestler? Like in genuinely, do you reckon? Do you think I'd make a good wrestler? Not like wrestling skill. Like, let's say I train and whatever. I mean, as a wrestler, like personality wise and whatever.
you got the personality for it. I think
I was
you
gonna say,
strike
I
me as a
reckon you're gonna
heel.
say I'm a heel, right? You reckon I'd be a good arsehole?
Yeah, literally.
What do you mean by that?
Because you don't. I mean, no.
What you trying to say, motherfucker? I want to knock you out while you're fucking refereeing one of my matches.
Mate, I love you to
I
bits,
am.
but you are a
I will
prick.
agree with that.
You do not come across as like a lovable, cuddly teddy bear. You come across as this mean asshole.
Do you know what it
Sorry.
is though? It's like I do have a front of being an arsehole, but like when you actually kind of get to know me, I am kind of a decent person. I will treat you with respect. Like realistically, I will treat everyone with respect, even if I don't know you. But like, you won't see it as
you're
yeah,
heel.
I'm definitely a heel. There's actually a TV show called Heels. Yeah, it's about
Oh, is
wrestling
there?
heels.
I think
He
CM
is.
Punk's in
He's
that.
in one. I think he's in either one of the episodes.
Yeah.
It's I have
Is
no
he
idea. I've
good?
never seen it, but it stars Stephen Amell. Shout out to him, who played Oliver Queen in Arrowverse. Absolutely used to love those shows. Top tier
I've heard of
television.
Heels, but I've never watched
And
it.
it stars the guy from Vikings. The main guy from Vikings, and he was in Grown Ups 2 as well. I think it was Grown Ups 2. But
CM
CM Punk did
Punk?
at least make an appearance in that show. Yeah, yeah. That's about. I think they're a
He's done.
tag team duo.
He's he's done in
He's what?
AEW. He's done with AEW.
What's that?
I think he's done with wrestling again. To be honest, I don't think he's gonna come back again. He had this whole fallout with some guys, and now he's gone back to commentating for MMA. Sorry to break your heart. You're either muted or I've lost you.
No.
No, I think
My
I've lost
mic's
you.
not working. There we go.
Oh,
Fucking
okay.
microphone. What's going on? That was weird. I was literally talking. I noticed on my OBS that it wasn't working. I was like, hello. Looked on Discord, it wasn't working. I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna unplug it. I'm sorry if that affected the mic at all on the podcast, but like I needed to emergency like yank it out and put it back in. No pun intended. No innuendo intended.
Yank it out.
Don't just yank it out, guys. Always ask permission.
Okay, you didn't
In
need to
terms
go
of
that
content
far.
creation, how are things going? Oh, I still need to watch your Bodmin video, actually.
You
Hey,
fucking
when was the
cunt.
last time you watched one of
Sorry.
my videos, motherfucker?
You know what I love actually? Like, we support each other, but I don't think we don't watch each
I have
other's
to
stuff.
say, right, it's nothing personal. It's I don't watch that much YouTube, and when I do, I watch very specific things. And I understand your point of view of never watching my content, considering you don't play games or anything. So, like when you come on my stream, you come in for the conversation.
But like, do you know what I mean? It's like we support each other, but like in the most strangest way possible.
At the end of the day, we have a project together.
Yeah, we do.
Exactly.
We have the podcast.
And we are friends.
Yeah.
I'll always support my friends, no
BK
matter
Media.
what. Like even if I'm not interested in it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you made like a documentary about wrestling, there's a good chance I probably wouldn't watch it. For me, a documentary has to be about something I'm really passionate about to watch.
Yeah, no, I get
I
that.
or I'd
Absolutely.
watch
Yeah,
it, like,
absolutely.
you know, to give you the view on the statistics, and give it a like, of
Thanks.
course.
Big picture, man.
But I obviously support you. I'd retweet it, and if I can to help support, but I wouldn't fucking go and watch it. I like leave it on in the background to get them few hours.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get the watch
exactly.
time up.
Then
Yeah,
yank it
yank
out
it
and
out.
put it back in. But yeah, I actually uploaded a video today. Getting back on the content creation, this thing.
It's called I'm an
Actually
asshole.
called wiping the floor with a toxic player, I believe. Almost.
You're really
I'm trying to
consistent though.
be. I'm doing a God of War playthrough soon. Gonna start recording that. I have a comment. But yeah, it's gaming content. It'll probably stick to gaming content. I was thinking about making another YouTube channel for different types of content. I'm thinking about using Render Forest to make a logo and an intro.
Render
I
Forest
I
is
I
good. I
really enjoy
recommend
Render
it.
Forest. I love making the previews.
It's where it's where my current
Yeah, I
intro
really
comes
enjoy it.
from.
I mean, it's only 20 quid for an intro. So.
And as you said, I like the previews because it gives it helps you decide
Yeah,
whether
and
you
the
want it
thing
or not.
is if you pay for the month, you also get access to all of it, right?
I don't know because I only do
Which
like
is
for one
quite
video,
useful
so I
if you're
don't do.
constantly needing content creation because they do other stuff. They do, you know, animations and like that you can use. You know, they will do like stock animations, or they even do like animations for text and things that you wouldn't have to do yourself in like
Oh
Adobe
yeah,
After Effects or anything like that. Yeah, I'm trying to be consistent, man. I think one of my favorite parts about content creation is 100% making the thumbnails.
my
I don't know why.
the I pay zero attention to like I'm lazy with my thumbnails.
Thumbnails are pretty shit.
Even,
I mean, they're barely even thumbnails.
all right, chill out. Excuse you. Hey. I don't I don't
Is it
criticize your
good?
thumbnails. Fuck off. My thumbnail of Bodmin
Bro, it's
Jail
just a
was
fucking
amazing.
screen. It's just a screenshot from the video. To be fair,
Yeah, that's
to you,
fine.
your kind of content doesn't need thumbnails. I
Yeah,
mean, it
exactly.
can
So
do
go
with a
fuck
little,
yourself.
like a little bit of a thumbnail, like, you know.
Okay,
But
I'm gonna
you don't do
chop
like
your
vlog
nuts off.
style stuff. So I suppose it's okay.
Hey guys,
What's up,
welcome to my
guys?
vlog.
Welcome back to my vlog. My name's Oscar.
And
Welcome to Bodmin Jail.
I'm a fake,
I'm
and
a
I'm a fake
fake
Jew.
Jew. You are indeed a fake Jew. I will
Go
do
chop
such
your
a
nuts
thing.
off.
Have you got any words of wisdoms for the people out there listening?
Don't chop your nuts off.
Unless you need to.
God, please. I hope not.
Anyone listening? Once again, if anything was said that did offend you when we were talking about racism, breed racism thing, do apologise. It was just purely examples. I suppose my words of wisdom would be, don't whip it out without permission. Or don't
Don't
wank on
rank on
people
someone.
unless they want it.
Yeah. I love how that's still a
Wanking on
thing
people
after
is
episode
fun.
3.
Obviously when they want it, but
What was one of your things? You said something really funny. You were like, I forgot what it was.
was
Never
it to
mind.
do
Fuck
with
me. Doesn't matter.
the merch?
Yeah, you made a really funny. You made a really funny comment. Hang on.
What the
What
merch
was
thing?
it?
Oh, what friends with
Fuck.
benefits is like wanking, but with a person.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
True, very true. Do you know what? Another merch idea could be that how
Oh.
what was it I said about squeezing out
Squeezing out babies
my wife to squeeze
and suck her tits.
till the uncle.
That's not saying. That's just a
That
fucking.
is Brad, 2022. Holy shit, man! It's
Read it out.
next episode will be in December.
Wait, read it out.
Just for my wife to squeeze them out, suck for them to suck on her tits all day. Ungrateful little tits.
Oh. Oh, good God. Well, there's some new merch that will eventually come out. Your mic's gone again. You see, guys, this is what I have to
Shut
put
up,
up with
bitch.
when his mic is
Shut up,
gone.
bitch.
I have to take over.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants to hear your fucking voice. They come for me.
So,
I have no idea what's going on.
Mic out. It's like
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
being a
It
vagina.
might be loose at the back of my PC. I'll check.
I don't know why that was an insult. Why did I say
You
that?
like a bit loose vagina, didn't you?
Fuck off.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's why my hotkeys weren't working. It's because I set them to something different ages ago. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to love you and leave you. England beat Wales 3-0. Happy with that. We're going to love you and leave you. We'll see you next week. What's on your mind? What's our next episode after this? What episode would this be if our last one went out?
20, wouldn't it? I think. Oh, your mic's gone again, dipshit. Fucking hell. See you guys.
Yes,
Now I'm the savior of the show.
This would
His
have
mic is gone. Oh, he's back.
This would have been the 20th episode. How about for the 20th episode we do eat questions again? Let's do it.
Yeah,
Cool.
let's do it. Sure.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Farewell. Goodbye.